It was simply because I stole the provincial exam top spot from Makoto. On the first day I reported to a university. His childhood friend Willow set her sights on me. She even launched a secret, reward-based voting poll on the campus website. How long until George is hooked? The person who guesses the most accurate time will win a prize of 100,000 yuan. Some said I was a conservative bookworm, and it would take at least 3 years to win me over. Others said I just looked cold and aloof, but in reality, I was a repressed flirt, and 3 months would be enough. The voting heat soared, and the prize money grew higher and higher. I stood silently in the shadows, watching it all unfold, and couldn't help but curl my lips into a smirk. 3 years, 3 months, too long. I decisively commented, I bet 3 weeks. Chapter 1. When I overheard Willow and her friends discussing the voting prize in the activity room, I had just received a fee payment reminder from the school. George, your tuition fees are 20 days overdue. Please pay them as soon as possible to avoid affecting your academic progress. As the provincial exam top scorer entering a university, the school had waived most of my tuition. However, with various accommodation and textbook fees, I still owed 3,000. From the gap in the slightly ajar door, I could hear the passionate discussion of the girls. Willow, what do you think about setting the prize at 10,000 for the George poll? Willow's red lips parted slightly, her chestnut curls glimmering in the sunlight. 10,000 is too little, let's make it 100,000. I held my breath, feeling my heart race. 100,000 might be just a pair of shoes or a piece of clothing for Willow, the wealthy girl, but for me, it could make my 4 years at university much less financially strained. Standing there in the shadows, I thought for a minute, then took out my phone and quietly opened the campus website. As soon as I entered, I saw people flooding the screen with comments. 100,000, as expected of Willow. I heard George is this year's provincial exam top scorer. All he thinks about is studying. He's like a caveman. I bet it will take Willow at least 3 years to win him over. Come on. I saw him hugging a few rich women at the bar the other day. Maybe he just looks cold, but behind the scenes, he's playing around. I bet 3 months. As the screen kept scrolling, I almost wanted to hum a song. Just then, a voice message from my dad popped up on my phone. Bastard, if you're capable of attending that school, then go ahead. If not, just go work at an electronics factory. I'm not going to give you a single penny to attend that crappy university. I had enough money to go to university in the beginning. For 3 years in high school, aside from studying, I worked hard as a tutor and did various part-time jobs, finally saving up enough for 4 years of fees. But on the night before the semester started, my dad, drunk, sneaked into my room while I was sleeping. He took all my savings to please his new girlfriend. The day I left home, my backpack felt as light as air. Inside, there's nothing left but alone courage and exhaustion. I was so tired. Working as a tutor, selling drinks at the bar, all of those jobs had drained me. So this time, I decided to take a shortcut. After creating an anonymous account, I joined the betting game about Willow and me, the main characters. I bet 3 weeks. Chapter 2. As expected, Willow's advances were fierce. During the English lecture, the professor asked each of us to translate and read out loud our favorite sentence in English. In the quiet classroom, Willow stood up, her fiery gaze locking with mine. I'm waiting for Buddha to break the precepts for me. The meaning was clear. Her group of friends smartly burst into teasing laughter, and I, taking advantage of the situation, deliberately blushed in response to Willow's alluring look. After class, she reached out and grabbed the corner of my shirt. George, our department has formed a billiards club. Would you be interested in coming to play with us? I couldn't help but curl my lips into a slight smile. The beautiful fish had bitten the hook. But, what if I don't know how to play billiards? Willow casually linked her arm through mine, proudly tilting her chin up. I can teach you. I was at a level 6 in high school. When we arrived at the billiards room and I struggled to even hold the cue stick properly, Willow smiled. She stood behind me, the fragrance of Chanel No. 5 filling my nostrils. George, you need to do it like this so that your arm can apply enough force. Her warm palm gripped the back of my hand, and with a sudden push, accompanied by a bang, the 8 ball sped across the table, striking all the other balls and sinking one into the pocket. I turned my head, staring at Willow's beautiful and seductive profile, asking, what shot was that? She didn't release my hand, her shoe rubbing against my calf. Straight shot, I admit. If it weren't for that betting game, I would have certainly fallen for someone as captivating and alluring as Willow. So when she suggested taking a stroll around campus, I didn't refuse. After all, who wouldn't want to spend a few more minutes with a vibrant and beautiful senior? Over the next week, Willow intensified her pursuit. She reserved a seat for me every morning. She brought me breakfast on rainy days. She canceled all social events on Valentine's Day to accompany me in the library. Of course, I graciously accepted everything, enjoying a taste of love that I had never experienced in my 20 years of life. But by the weekend, Willow unexpectedly missed our appointment. I put on a cheap suit I bought from a street vendor and walked to a nearby bar for my part-time job. In the environment full of clinking glasses, I wore a mask and served drinks one after another. During a brief moment of respite by the column, I glanced over to see Willow nestled in Makoto's arms at a booth, the table filled with expensive amber-colored liquor. From my angle, they looked like a perfect match. Handsome guy, beautiful girl. They were literally born to be the center of attention. Chapter 3. Willow. How long is it going to take for you to bring down that damn bastard? Willow clinked her glass with his. Don't worry, I'll do what I say. Makoto and I never got along since high school, because I was a few centimeters taller than him. He cornered me in the top-floor restroom and shoved my head into the toilet. George, you're so tall. It must be because of too much nutrition. How about drinking some toilet water to regulate yourself properly? Seeing me cough and choke on the dirty water, unable to even open my eyes, Makoto laughed loudly. He then slammed a baseball bat against my left leg. Like Willow, he came from a powerful family, with both the school's library and sports fields funded by their families. Knowing I couldn't fight back, I hobbled around on crutches, hiding in the least noticeable corners. In order to get a scholarship, I studied hard and scored first place every time. But then Makoto came after me again. He couldn't stand me stealing his limelight by taking the top spot. So, with his little group, he used an electric rod to beat my arm. Then he pushed me to the ground, and with his expensive sneakers, stomped on my right hand, the one I used to write. George, who gave you permission to steal my first place? Do you know if I don't get first place, my dad will cut my pocket money by 100,000. Lying on the ground, holding my bleeding arm and broken fingers, I learned how to control my scores. From that day on, I never scored first place again. Over time, Makoto grew tired of bullying me and shifted his target to others. When the day of the college entrance exam came, I knew I no longer had to hide my brilliance. The moment the pen cap clicked, I felt an unprecedented sense of relief. When the results came out, I naturally ranked first in the province. Not only did I make an amazing leap, but I also received the admission letter from a university. I was finally going to leave this disgusting place. I reveled in the joy, and without realizing it, I found myself walking toward the podium. Near the graffiti wall, I could vaguely hear a conversation between a man and a woman. It's all because of George. That bastard quietly stole my provincial top spot, making me miss a university and preventing me from attending the same school as you. The feeling of watching the defeated loser squirm was so satisfying it made my scalp tingle. But that feeling only lasted 3 seconds, because the next moment, I saw Willow. The orange sunset bathed her slightly curled chestnut-colored hair, her youthful smile and bright teeth stunningly beautiful. Sadly, this shining moon belonged to the person I despised the most, and no matter how much I stretched out or stood on tiptoe, I could never reach it. As Makoto looked dejected, Willow took the cigarette from his hand, placed it in her mouth, and gently comforted him. Don't worry, Makoto. Once George gets to a university, I'll make sure he regrets it. All right, then sleep with him, and post his private videos on the campus website. Then throw him away. Let that bastard get trampled by everyone. How's that? You're not jealous? Makoto's mouth curled into a smile as he gave Willow's side cheek a quick kiss. After all, you'll always be mine. Standing in the shadows, I looked at the moon in the west and smiled. Thank you, heavens, for your gift. Chapter 4. It was already 3 a.m. when I returned to the dorm from the bar. I had barely lain down, exhausted, when I received a message from Willow. Are you asleep? If I guessed correctly, it was probably because her meeting with Makoto tonight had given her some pressure. I slowly typed on the screen. Nope. I've been waiting for you. Waiting so long I couldn't sleep. After sending the message, I decisively turned off my phone and fell into a deep sleep. The next morning, sure enough, Willow was waiting for me downstairs, her dark circles clearly visible. If I guessed right, she hadn't slept all night because she felt guilty for standing me up. I walked down the stairs and left without even glancing at her. This move quickly spread throughout the campus. The number of people involved in the bet on the website grew, and the prize money had soared to 200,000. Willow, feeling the pressure, began to genuinely try to win me over. George, I heard you want to switch majors. I can ask around in the department for you, if you'd like. I had only realized after entering college that the most profitable major was actuarial science, so I wanted to switch. I told her. Then it'd be a big help. With that, Willow used her connections to successfully help me switch my major. I actually benefited from it and invited her to go to the bar. Willow thought she had me, but as soon as she sat down, her red lips casually moved closer to me. I quickly sprang up from the sofa, looking at her with red eyes. Willow, please show some respect. Do you really think I'm that easy to get? Willow, exposed, became slightly flustered. George, I didn't mean it like that, but I didn't care what she meant. I stared at her, eyes burning, and gulped down my drink. Willow, you don't know a thing about me. My parents divorced when I was a child. My mom remarried and had a younger brother. My dad spends every day either drinking or chasing women. I've been kicked around like a rag doll between two homes that don't even belong to me. People say I hang out with rich women at bars, but I'm just trying to earn enough to live for next month. Do you think I want this? The guilt people feel for each other is like a parabola. Only when you seize the right moment can you turn it into something real at the highest point. Willow's eyes started to show panic. Then, unavoidably, guilt. I'm sorry, George. You've misunderstood me. I just really like you. I couldn't be bothered to question the truth of her words, because the next second, I heard the notification of her transferring money to me. Very distinct. She even included a note saying it was a voluntary gift and did not need to be returned. Afterward, Willow didn't say anything more. Instead, she just went back to the school with me. When we got to the dorm, as she was about to leave, I cleverly grabbed the edge of her skirt. Willow, don't take it to heart. I only said that because I consider you like family. The next moment, I gently kissed the top of her head. Sure enough, Willow's face visibly turned red. A well-meaning person quickly posted a photo of me kissing Willow on the campus website. The site erupted. Willow is amazing. In the first week she held the top scorer's hand. In the second week she kissed him. I say, it's only a matter of time before she sleeps with the top scorer. This time, Willow, who usually couldn't stop talking, was oddly silent. Chapter 5. With the money transfer, I quickly went to the department head to pay off my tuition fees. I also took the opportunity to inquire about a university's joint training programs with overseas institutions. As for Willow, she began to shower me with even more attention. On a cold early winter morning, I was reciting in the long hallway, and she was right there beside me. When I was about to sit down after standing for a while, she immediately took off her 88,000 yuan luxury coat, neatly folded it, and placed it on the stone bench. George, the ground is too cold, and you've just recovered from a cold. You can sit on this. If I remember correctly, this coat was a birthday gift from Makoto to Willow. I pretended to be touched, smiling, and this time, I kissed her lips. It was even softer than I imagined. Much easier to kiss. Just like that, I played with Willow like training a dog, keeping my distance, then drawing closer again, and she became more and more infatuated with me. By the third week, I began to take action. Just as I was looking for an opportunity to approach Willow, her friend called me. George, Willow drank too much at the bar and feels terrible. Do you want to come pick her up? If I guessed right, the busybodies were all anticipating the bets on the campus website, and they were testing me. I smiled and agreed. When I arrived, Willow was sitting in a booth, accepting drinks from all directions. The moment she saw me, her eyes instantly lit up. The next second, she frowned, a worried look appearing on her face. George, didn't you say that bars are noisy and unpleasant? Why are you here? I'm here because I'm worried about you. Of course, under the multicolored lights, Willow seemed to be scolding me, but in reality, the smile at the corner of her mouth was harder to suppress than an AK machine gun. Since we had missed the curfew, we naturally ended up at a nearby hotel. As soon as we entered, she immediately snuggled into my arms and said, George, when they called you, I was betting whether or not you would come. Luckily, I won the bet. At that moment, I had no time for Willow's sweet talk, nor did I care to listen to her emotional words. I took the initiative to kiss her palm. Our breaths grew more rapid. Willow's face flushed, but she still left the initiative to me. If you're not ready, we can take it slow. I extended a finger and blocked her beautiful smile and lips. No, it has to be today. In that moment of honesty, I smiled and reminded her. Willow, how many days has it been since we met? The 21st day. Her dark eyes were tinged with color, making her look incredibly alluring. And just like that, Willow fell, and I, at last, reached the high, unattainable moon. Sex was the shortcut to rapidly heating up a relationship. From that day on, Willow became possessive, even developing feelings that she hadn't noticed herself. Makoto, who had been playing with fire, began to feel a sense of crisis. Willow, when are you going to dump him? Willow hesitated for a moment, her gaze shifting away. What's the rush? It won't be too late to make a move once he's completely in love with me. Chapter 6. Meanwhile, there was news about the overseas joint training program I had been inquiring about. The dean said that my credits and qualifications met the standard, but I still needed a notable, positive achievement to qualify. Just as I was racking my brain for ideas, a rumor came out from the media university across from a university. Makoto, a freshman in the performing arts department, was about to appear as a special guest for the anti-bullying Let the World Be Filled with Love social welfare event. I found it ironic. The former bully, who once tormented others, was now going to be featured as an ambassador against bullying. If I guessed right, The Ito family was trying to shape Makoto's public image, paving the way for him to enter the entertainment industry in the future. Back in my dorm, I took off my shirt and stared at the scars on my arm, though they had healed by now. Whenever it rained, they still itched and ached, and my fingers had become somewhat stiff. That's when I had an idea. I dug up my high school yearbook, found the contact details of a few guys, and created a group chat. Then I uploaded several videos to the chat. These were videos I secretly recorded a few years ago when Makoto had started bullying others after getting bored with tormenting me. At the time, I had approached these people right away, asking if they were willing to go to the police with me and report Makoto. Without exception, they all chose to refuse. Sorry, man. I don't want to make things bigger than they already are. His family's power is so big, we can't fight that. Better to keep out of it. Mind your own business. What I thought would be an army of allies ended up with me completely isolated and unsupported. But now, I chose to gather the people involved once more. If you think you're a victim, then you'll always be one. Are you really going to let the former abuser change into a righteous hero? This time, everyone fell silent. The public welfare event had certain requirements, but thanks to Willow, I managed to get an invitation. Under the spotlight, Makoto stood on stage in a high-end suit, speaking confidently as he faced the reporter's questions. Someone asked him, "Mr. Ito, have you ever experienced bullying?" His eyes glistened with tears as he spoke. Of course, but now, I've moved past it, and I hope everyone can be as brave as I was. When the applause started, I stood up, smiled, and looked directly into Makoto's eyes. Then, "Mr. Ito, what role did you play in this bullying?" A clear panic spread across Makoto's face, and even his voice trembled. Well, of course, I was the one being bullied. I smiled and handed a USB drive to the nearby staff, saying, "Then let's all witness this together." The big screen suddenly lit up, and familiar images began to play. "George, how does the toilet water taste? Isn't it delicious? Isn't it just wax dripped on your leg? Why are you crying? Who allowed you to take first place? Did you get permission from your dad?" The crowd below was shocked, murmuring to each other, "What? The anti-bullying ambassador is actually a bully himself? This world is too crazy." Makoto almost collapsed, screaming like a madman, "This is fake. It's all fake. This is AI synthesis. Someone's framing me." Just then, the doors to the venue opened again. All the people who had been bullied by Makoto walked in and stood with me. I took the microphone from the nearby reporter and said slowly, "We stand here today to reveal our scars because we want justice to triumph over darkness, and we hope everyone will never forget. The ultimate goal of criminal law is to punish crimes and protect the people." Amidst the murmurs of sympathy, Makoto collapsed, defeated. Chapter 7. The journalists quickly pushed this case to the trending list. No matter how powerful the Gu family was, they couldn't silence everyone's voices. Makoto, who hadn't even debuted yet, already had such a scandal, ruining his career before it even began. Unable to withstand the judgment and whispers of those around him, he angrily dropped out of school. Countless people gave praise to me and the other boys who had been bullied back then, calling us brave. After receiving the news, the university awarded me a medal. At the same time, they secretly gave me the only available spot for the cross-national joint training program in the second semester of my sophomore year. Meanwhile, Makoto, in an attempt to get back at me, spread news about me and Willow staying out all night. The campus website immediately erupted, with everyone having their own thoughts. The people involved in the bet eagerly hoped the 200,000 yuan would fall to them. Makoto hoped Willow would dump me and turn me into a laughingstock for everyone. In the activity room, 200,000 yuan in cash was stacked up on the podium, as high as a pile of books. Willow, the center of attention, was surrounded as people asked her questions. "Willow, what does it feel like to win over the top scorer?" Willow, with her own vanity, stubbornly replied, "It's nothing special. He was the one who made the first move." The crowd went wild again. Some called me a simp, others said I was pretending. Makoto, as if declaring his ownership, pulled Willow into an embrace. "Willow, if it weren't for that bastard, I would have been a star by now. Why don't you just release his private photos, dump him, and let everyone see it? You'd also be getting back at me." Time seemed to reverse back to the high school graffiti wall, but this time, Willow hesitated. I knew then, I had won. What I wanted was never pure affection, but rather this moment of chaos, this wrong note that had been played. Willow awkwardly pushed Makoto away and deliberately changed the subject. "Everyone's been waiting for so long. Don't you think it's time to reveal the final winner of the bet?" Upon hearing this, everyone eagerly moved forward, pushing Makoto into a corner. After receiving Willow's approval, the person who started the bet began revealing the answers one by one. Lisa, 45 days, pass. Marco, 30 days, pass. Kevin, 25 days, though very close, still pass. As the time grew shorter, the crowd couldn't help but start discussing, "What's going on? Willow actually managed it in less than a month. Looks like our top scorer is just a pure little boy after all." The organizer read out the final vote. Buddha, 21 days. Willow paused and clapped her hands. "That's right. The correct answer is 21 days. A deafening cheer erupted from the crowd, everyone guessing who Buddha could be. When no one claimed the title for a while, people began to wonder if there was some kind of conspiracy. I slowly pushed open the door to the activity room and walked in with a smile. "Buddha, that's me." Everyone froze in place, including Willow. Chapter 8. "George, how did you get here?" I admired her stunned expression, shaking the backpack in my hand as I replied, "Of course, to claim my prize." A wave of whispers rippled through the crowd, with people calling me scheming or saying I would stop at nothing to win. Essentially, they were all just jealous. Jealous because they hadn't won the 200,000 yuan, and jealous because Willow hadn't chosen them. I walked up to the podium, bracing myself on the desk, looking down at everyone in the crowd as I spoke. "Everyone, quiet down. I'm here to announce two things. First, I am the final winner of the bet, and I've secured this 200,000 yuan. Second," I paused. My hand stopped from putting the money into the bag, and I looked at the bright-eyed girl standing below the stage. "Willow, you've been dumped." Some tried to stop me, some shouted insults, but I wasn't afraid. I looked them in the eyes and sneered. "Everyone, if I were to meet an unfortunate accident because of this ridiculous bet, you'd all be accomplices. But now that I've won, all of you, including Willow, are my defeated foes, my trophies, and trophies have no right to speak at the table." With that, the crowd fell silent, slowly parting to make way for me. Just as I was about to leave through the door, Willow's trembling voice came from behind. "George, in these 21 days, I've done so much for you. Don't you feel even a little bit of affection?" I cut her off directly. "No. So, you and I got together, and the night we set the date, it was all just to win this bet." This time, I didn't deny it. "Willow, looks like you're not as stupid as I thought." Realizing that she had been the one played, Willow slumped into the chair. Makoto shook her shoulders, letting out an impotent roar. "Willow, wake up. I'm your boyfriend." Chapter 9. With the 200,000 yuan, my college life was finally no longer a struggle. I had more free time to study, attend academic research conferences with my professors, and while growing my skills, I made a few close friends who shared the same ambitions. In this bold age of trying and doing, I took that 200,000 yuan and, together with my friends, formed a team and started a small company in partnership with the university's Corporate Cooperation Center. We began designing insurance products and pricing strategies for less established insurance companies. This not only honed our teamwork abilities but also was far easier and more profitable than my part-time bar job. The moon hung low in the sky, and it was already 2 a.m. I closed my laptop, stretched, and was about to leave the project center and head back to the dorm when Willow pushed open the door and walked in, holding a still warm bowl of seafood porridge. "George, I came to apologize. I shouldn't have used such a disgusting bet to hurt you. But I didn't think the bet was disgusting. After all, it had provided me with the 200,000 yuan in project startup funds and brought me within reach of the moon. George, I've come to realize my feelings. I like you. Let's clear up the misunderstandings and start over." "Okay." I stirred the seafood porridge she brought, giving her a half smile as I said, "Why bother, Willow? There are no misunderstandings between us, and there's nothing to fix. Let's each stay in our own lane, and never cross paths again. That's the best form of reconciliation." I meant what I said. I spent my days studying, working on projects, and preparing to study abroad in the future. Naturally, I didn't have time to play the love games with a rich second-generation girl like Willow. As I looked up, I suddenly caught sight of Makoto standing behind the glass wall, eavesdropping. Apparently, he had been chasing after Willow lately, unable to get rid of her, no longer carrying the arrogance he once had. So when Willow asked me whether I would have been with her if not for that ridiculous bet, I quickly changed my approach. I switched my answer from no to yes. "Willow, if it weren't for the bet, if you didn't have a boyfriend, I would really be with you." These words gave Willow hope, and her eyes instantly lit up. "George, I don't have a boyfriend. The Ito family and my family have been close for a long time. I've just been treating Makoto like a brother." I didn't care whether her words were true. I only wanted to take everything from Makoto and watch him collapse, suffer. Makoto, who had indeed been eavesdropping, punched the glass wall hard. "Willow, don't listen to him. He's just saying that on purpose, playing with you like a dog." Ha! Men really understand other men. Seeing the regret on Willow's face gave me great satisfaction, because my goal was to give her hope, to make her live in that what if for the rest of her life. Through the thin glass wall, this time Willow didn't listen to Makoto. "Makoto, stop it." "Okay." If you hadn't forced me to make this bet, George and I would have been together by now. This was undoubtedly the last straw that broke the camel's back. Makoto was furious, and he made a move as if he were going to charge through the glass door to confront me. I was quick to react, grabbing the electronic lock on the desk and pressing it. Just as Makoto was about to burst through, the glass door slowly closed, trapping him outside. Perhaps to make a statement and distance herself from Makoto, Willow spoke again. George, I apologize on behalf of Makoto. I'm a year ahead of him, so I never knew he would act so badly at school. Don't worry, I've cut all ties with him, and my family has distanced themselves from his. It's him who's been stubbornly following me around. I smiled, not bothering to expose her clumsy act. If she didn't know what kind of person Makoto was, how could she have agreed to that bet in the first place? At the core, they were the same kind of people. Chapter 10. Before the second semester of my sophomore year began, the insurance products our small company designed were successfully launched, and the 200,000 yuan had multiplied tenfold. Countless nights working late into the evening finally paid off. I was walking across campus, happily humming a tune, contemplating whether I should bring extra bottles of hot sauce or a few packs of spicy snacks before heading abroad to study. Suddenly, someone grabbed my hand. I turned around to see Willow, whom I hadn't seen in a long time, probably from searching for me. A thin layer of sweat appeared on her attractive nose. George, I have a surprise for you. Seeing her acting mysteriously, I became a bit curious. What is it? She took out her phone and opened a file. George, I've been working hard to switch majors, to be able to attend classes with you every day, have meals together, and participate in projects. I plan to retake my sophomore year. I couldn't believe Willow was so obsessed with love. I chuckled. Willow, give up. You'll never be able to keep up with me. Seeing her confused expression, I showed her my study abroad confirmation. When you made the bet with me, I already secured my prize. When you decided to switch majors to be with me, I had already secured the only study abroad spot in the department. Shaking off Willow's hand, I walked away without looking back. A week before leaving for abroad, I gathered all my documents and got my visa. While having a small gathering with friends at a restaurant, I received a call from my dad. Son, I heard you're going abroad. I haven't seen you in so long. I miss you. Could you come back and visit me? Human hearts are made of flesh. Hearing his aged voice on the phone, I remembered how he used to lift me up when I was a child. It wouldn't hurt to see him one last time. When I arrived home, dinner was already prepared on the table. Before I could even call out, Dad, I suddenly felt a sharp pain at the back of my head, and everything went dark. When I woke up, I found that all my electronic devices and visa had been confiscated, and I was locked in my room. I banged on the door desperately, but all I could hear from my dad was mockery. A chicken from a chicken coop will never become a phoenix. You don't even know your own worth, and you're still dreaming of going abroad. Bastard, I'm telling you to forget about it. Stay with your rich classmates and stop thinking about running away every time you have a chance. I understood then. In order to stop me from going abroad, Willow had actually brought my dad into this. Time ticked away, and as the moment drew closer, I knew I couldn't just sit idly by. Since we lived on the second floor and there were large plants below, I decided to act. That night, taking advantage of my dad being drunk, I quietly pried open the window and jumped out. The branches scraped against my face and body. In the moment of falling, it felt as though I might die in the stillness of that night. But fortunately, the greenery below was thick enough. I didn't die, though I injured my leg. After escaping, I borrowed a stranger's phone and decisively called the police. Chapter 11. When the police stormed in, my dad, still unaware of what was happening, was sound asleep. I exposed all the abuse he had subjected me to over the years, including the times he stole my savings, hid my phone and visa, and all the other things he had done to hurt me. The officers furrowed their brows as they listened. I've never seen such a cruel father. He doesn't deserve to be a parent. My dad was taken away for questioning, and the police helped me retrieve my hidden visa and phone. Before leaving, one of the officers, worried I might be feeling down, patted me on the shoulder and offered encouragement. Stay strong, kid. Things will get better for you. I smiled, feeling a sense of relief I had never known before. Accepting that my parents didn't love me was the first step to saving myself, and I would no longer have to grovel like a dog, clinging to a few pitiful memories and scraping by with that bit of pathetic, laughable affection. While I was cleaning up the mess, Willow burst in from outside. She knelt beside me, hugging me, trying to comfort me like she had comforted Makoto. I'm sorry, George. I know I couldn't stop you from going to America, so I had to call your father. I just wanted him to convince you to stay. I didn't expect him to be such a jerk. The smell and sound of Willow made me feel nauseous. I pushed her away forcefully. Willow, no one can stop my progress. Not you, not my dad. And also, I lied to you. What? When you asked me if I'd be with you if there was no bet, No, Makoto. The real answer is no. Willow's breath became shallow, and her eyes reddened. Then why give me hope? I leaned in close to her ear and whispered softly, of course, to mess with you. The world works in cycles. Those who deceive others will, in turn, be deceived. When I arrived at the airport, I was once again carrying a simple bag, just like when I first started university. The only difference was that this time, the bag wasn't empty. It was filled with my savings, my courage, and my future. Just as I reached the gate, I was surprised to see Willow chasing after me again. She tightly gripped my hand, refusing to let go. Wait, let me buy a ticket. Let's go together. Okay. I didn't say a word, instead dialing a number with my other hand. Willow's bodyguards rushed up to stop her. The plane soon took off. As I looked down at the shrinking city below, I felt an overwhelming sense of relief and freedom. Once we landed, my time was immediately filled with busy work on papers. I knew that while I was smart, at the top-tier school I was attending, I was the most inconspicuous one. The only thing I could do was work hard to make up for my shortcomings. Hard work pays off, and soon, I earned my actuarial certification, joined larger international actuarial projects, and saved up more funds for future ventures. In the occasional free time I had, I would chat with old friends back home, and they would update me on Willow's life. After graduating from a university, she didn't follow her family's arranged business marriage but chose to continue her studies. Some said she was trying to escape, others said she was trying to catch up to someone she couldn't have, but I had no time to care, nor did I care to know. Until recently, I realized someone was following me. It was Willow. Chapter 12. She was still as radiant and beautiful as before, even more elegant and graceful. A kind-hearted classmate walked up to her and asked, "Excuse me, miss, may I ask who you're waiting for?" Her gaze swept over the crowd and slowly landed on me. "I'm waiting for Buddha to break the precepts for me." The classmate quickly guessed her identity and asked with a smile if she was my girlfriend. I avoided her gaze and, loud enough for Willow to hear, said, "We're not close. We just went to the same school for a while." Willow couldn't hold back anymore. Her eyes reddened as she walked toward me. The classmates, sensing the tension, quietly left, leaving just the two of us in the hallway. "George," she broke the silence first. "All these years, I've always considered you my goal. For you, I even got into the graduate program at this university. I'm here to be with you now." Time seemed to rewind, and it felt like we were back in our home country when Willow had said she was changing her major for me. But this time, she was a step too late. "I'm sorry, Willow. I've already finished my studies and received my degree. I'm going back to start a business soon. And don't you think this game of you chasing me and me running away is really boring?" She could no longer hold back her tears, which fell down her face as she spoke. "But I don't want to miss you, and I'll never meet someone like you again." Such heartfelt words didn't move me, nor did they resonate with me. "Willow, that's because your vision is too narrow. When you reflect on this, you'll realize I'm nothing special. Anyone can live without anyone, but the key is to learn to let go of yourself." I returned to my home country with a wealth of knowledge and an even fuller entrepreneurship fund. The partners from my college days had been keeping our small company running, waiting for me to return and inject fresh energy. 3 years later, after several rounds of funding, our small company, which used to have only 5 employees, had grown into a team of thousands and successfully went public. I began appearing frequently on major financial magazines. My mother, who hadn't contacted me in years, suddenly reached out to complain. "George, your brother is useless and keeps getting into fights. What should I do? George, your stepdad is treating me worse and worse. He even refuses to give me money for groceries." After listening to her 60-second voice message, I didn't have the patience to hear it all. I simply blocked and deleted her, giving up on communication with my parents, abandoning empathy with my mother, distancing myself from my father, letting go of pride in suffering, and no longer feeling shame for my happiness. These were all lessons I had to learn growing up in a traditional East Asian family. The sunlight poured in through the floor-to-ceiling windows. The rain, which had been pouring for half a month, finally stopped, and my once damp life, lasting for 30 years, had finally waited for the rain to cease and the sunshine to arrive.